Hello, Times Square. As you know, most yoga classes cost around $20. As the class you are about to take is free, we encourage you to consider making a donation to Community First, a new initiative where navigators on the street build relationships and trust with vulnerable people in Times Square with the goal of getting them help. You can donate right now by going to tsq.org and make a difference in the world today through yoga. In 2015, the United Nations General Assembly declared June 21st the International Day of Yoga, with New York City and Times Square playing central roles, in part because of the Times Square Alliance's 20-year tradition of hosting this Solstice Yoga event here at the crossroads of the world. Times Square is the leading official public site in New York City for the International Day of Yoga. Later today, we will be joined by a dignitary from the Indian Consulate of New York. And now, before we get started with your class today, Alpha Girl Club is proud to present a yoga instructor, muralist, NFT artist, and speaker. She will be leading a short gratitude-focused meditation followed by a gratitude affirmation writing exercise. Please welcome Morgan Zion.
Hi, Times Square. How are we doing? So good. Thank you for having me. Again, my name is Morgan Zion. I'm a muralist, a yoga instructor, meditation coach, and I'm so happy to be with you today here from Seattle. And this is just a quick guided gratitude meditation. I'm going to have you, as you are in a comfortable seat, close your eyes. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. And if you're new to meditation, that's totally okay if your mind wanders, because that's just what minds do. And as you feel the soft rise and fall of your breath, just be aware of the sounds around you. If your mind does not quiet down, remember where you are. You are in Times Square, the most alive, electric place in the entire world. And you took the time to prioritize your health, your mental health, your spiritual health, your physical health. And as you're in this moment, just say thank you. Thank you to yourself. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. You've given yourself the gift to be on your mat here, to take in the sounds around you. Now I want you to visualize a chalkboard. And now see yourself holding a piece of chalk. Take your mind off your physical body and just focus on this chalkboard. You're going to write on this chalkboard in your mind. On your chalkboard, begin to write down the things that you're grateful for. No matter how small, no matter how big they are, just whatever comes to you. Write down something that made you smile today. Just see yourself in your mind writing it down. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Now think of a memory that makes you smile. And now write that down on your chalkboard in your mind. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Now create a smile on your face for that thing you wrote down or the feeling. Open your eyes, fill yourself with a smile on your face. And now I want you to simply write that thing down. Write it down right now, either in your phone or if you have a piece of paper. Just write it down. Even if it's just a mental note. I want you to do this because many times we forget what we experience in a moment, but I want you to keep it with you so that later in your day, when things become chaotic and you forget where you are, that you come back to that moment of gratitude that you created this morning in your practice for yourself, and you can come back to the smile and the feeling of being present. Got it down? We'll bring our hands to our heart space. A moment of gratitude for sharing energy together. Let's take one last breath in And a big breath out. Hands to third eye center. Bow forward, sealing our practice. Thank you. Thanks, friends, for being with me. Like I said, life is short. These moments are short that we get to share together. And I really want you to think more maybe today about this small little statement that you made. And maybe as the day goes on, if you get stressed or tired or something comes up, you can come back to that statement. Maybe, again, you can post about it, write it down. If you want to come and join me, I'm creating a live mural over at the tents behind you here at Alpha Girl Club. And I want you to write down your statement on the mural that I'm creating so that we can have this moment that we get to share together. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the 20th annual Solstice in Times Square Mind Over Madness Yoga, presented by Alpha Girl Club. Be sure to visit our sponsor tents in the Yoga Village on Broadway between 44th and 45th Streets right after class for a showcase and sampling from our partners. This class is being streamed on Facebook Live and Twitter at Times Square NYC, so text your friends to watch and check your feed later today as well. And now, please welcome Times Square Alliance President Tom Harris, along with event co-founder Douglass Stewart.
Thank you, Joe. Good morning, Times Square. Welcome to the summer solstice and yoga in Times Square. We have a lot to celebrate today. Today is the 20th anniversary of Solstice in Times Square, doing yoga for Solstice in Times Square. And I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Douglass and Tim Tompkins.
Yeah.
Tim, stand up. You're flexible, Tim. I know you could stand up. Tim Tompkins, the former president of the Times Square Alliance, who had the vision 20 years ago to start this event. And what started with a little acorn is now the mighty oak tree of over 7,000 people doing yoga in Times Square. It's also a time that we're celebrating the recovery of Times Square. Saturday night, we had 428,000 people walk through Times Square. That is 15% more than our pre-pandemic average. So Times Square is back, New York City's back. And the third thing, Douglass and I do not have to, don't walk away, Douglass.
All right,
it's not 2021. Douglass and I do not have to be 6 feet apart. So we are able to welcome everyone with full capacity in Times Square. And Douglass, I am so grateful for you and for your commitment to this event. When Tim left us, you stayed and you showed a commitment to this event. This event would not be what it is today if not for the vision of you and the vision of Tim Tompkins. Thank you very much, and I'll pass it over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Tom. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for returning, those of you that have been here for 20 years, year after year. Thank you so much for returning to the square to practice yoga. Of course, it's summer solstice, and the sun, somewhere behind those clouds, is shining down on us, easing our tensions away. And as we move into pranayama, into asana, and a little bit of meditation, those tensions that we developed long before the pandemic and during the pandemic now hopefully will be addressed as we look more consciously into the practice and into ourselves. As you know, the practice of yoga is really about, and it's been around for, of course, Tim and I and all of Times Square Alliance and all of our supporters and partners, and we've been doing this for 20 years, but the process or the practice of yoga has been around for thousands of years. It's an ancient discipline. It's an ancient science. Its seed is in India, but it has blossomed and bloomed into all parts of the world. And during these more challenging times, what could be more profound than to have this ancient discipline leading us and supporting our navigation through these challenging, amazing times. So, you look great. Looks like you're all ready to start. I won't keep preaching. I've got Carla right behind me on that island there, and then right behind Carla is Celine, and I'm grateful for them for coming and demonstrating the practice today as well. So, everyone's get yourself comfortably seated. You're in easy seat or some position that you can support comfortably upright. Turn your palms to face down on your legs. Look to your right, see that person. Whatever, hi, hello, good to see you. Here we are in Times Square. I can't believe you're here. That kind of stuff. And then turn to your left. Hi, you. Oh, I see you're finally doing yoga. And then back again. Yay. So, cast your gaze just maybe about 45 degrees forward and down towards the ground. Contemplative. And here we just feel. Here we just get in touch with what's going on now. Our intention isn't really to push anything away. Our intention is just to experience. You feel the ground rumbling underneath you, that's the subway trains. Earth is actually vibrating. You can feel the temperature or the air brushing against your skin. You can smell the aromas in the air, if you want to or not. You can hear the sounds that are close by. You can even hear the sounds that are farther away. You can feel how your own breath, you can feel the rise and fall of your breathing. Bring your hands to each other. This is a gesture of prayer. This is a gesture of gratitude. This is a gesture of devotion. And all of those things can be applied to yourself initially. A gentle prayer for your commitment. Devotion to your practice and steadfastness. Blessing. Take a breath in now, everyone, through your nostrils. Keep your hands in this prayer position, but raise your hands above your head. And maybe your gaze flows upward as well. And now we're extending upward. When you're breathing out, just simply bring your hands back to your heart, the middle ground. Breathe in, your palms are touching. Take your palms right up. You feel this intense stretch. And as you're breathing out, your hands float down to your heart. Breathe in, your hands flow up. Let your sitting bones and legs fall deeper to the earth. Breathe out. Your hands flow down. Breathe in. This pranayama actually brings the raindrops. Breathe out. It's working. Breathe in. Breathe out. Pause here, everybody. Now just feel. Come into the moment. Allow yourself to come into the moment more completely. You feel how you're occupying more and more of the moment, no longer seemingly isolated unto yourself, but actually generating energy. Chant with me if you want the mantra of Om. Om is a vibration that connects everything. You can feel the humming of the lights and the traffic, those different streams of vibration. Om unifies all that stuff. Even your own various vibrations are channeled towards this particular vibration, and we flow as a community into that universal sound or vibration as we chant it. Om, 3 rounds if you want to join. Come onto hands and knees, everybody. Be easy on yourself. Our theme for today is steadiness and ease. Steadiness and ease. Your hands are right underneath your shoulders. Your knees are right underneath your hips. Your gaze is just slightly forward at the front edge of your mat. You feel the ground under your hands, under your knees. Toes are curled under. Take your gaze slightly forward. Steadiness and ease. Steadiness and ease. Sthira Sukham Asanam in Sanskrit. Everybody, if you're able to, lift your knees away from the ground, just a fraction of an inch. Just a fraction of an inch. Feel your arm bones attracted to each other for more support. We'll hold right here until the sun reaches its apex. Knees touch down, everybody. As you breathe in through your nostrils, just let your belly sag. Just let your belly sag to the mat. And as you're breathing out, flip the tops of your feet on the mat and round your spine towards the sky and look toward your navel. Breathe in, curl your toes under, let your spine sag. Your tailbone points upward, your sternum may lift, your eyes may lift. And as you're breathing out, rounding your spine towards the sky, look toward your navel. Breathe in, Majariasana. Breathe out, Vitalasana. Now go on your own. I won't dictate. Go on your own and make this about your sensation, your exploration, your need, your exploration. You guys look like the waves of the ocean, undulating. It's beautiful. The next out-breath, everybody, take your time. The next out-breath, just leave your hips right over your knees, but walk your hands way forward towards the front edge of your mat. It's puppy dog stretch. Your elbows may touch the ground initially. You feel that opening in your shoulders. You feel the circulation developing in your feet, between your toes, through the arches of your feet and through the metatarsals. You feel the spine releasing its pressure. You can feel these things. Your breath develops. Your breath develops to support this position, to enhance it. It's nice. Come onto hands and knees. Let your spine sag to the mat. As you breathe in, your spine rounds away from the ground. Breathing out. One more. In. And out. Now bring your spine to neutral. The sides of the body can hug in towards one another. The arm bones can draw towards one another energetically. You might even need to move your ribs towards your hips a little bit, just energetically, to shore up the core of your body. And as you do that, you feel supported enough to reach your right hand forward ahead of your right shoulder and your left leg back into the space behind you, in line with your left hip. It's pointer pose. It's pointer pose. Steadiness and ease. Beautiful. Engage the back leg if you can. Engage that back leg. Stand in that space behind. We'll hold for 2 more breaths if you're able to. Your gaze is forward. Your arms are, that left arm is right underneath that left shoulder. There you go. Touch down, everybody. Let your spine sag as you're breathing in. Let your spine round as you're breathing out, just undulating the spine, lubricating the synovium between the vertebrae, inhaling, arching. Now, as you're breathing out, bring your spine to neutral. Here's some places that might help you to shore up. The sides of the body can attract towards one another energetically. The ribs can just attract towards your hip bones. That frees your head. Keeping those coordinates, release your left arm forward ahead of your left shoulder and your right leg back in the space behind, in line with your right hip. And you're navigating to balance using steadiness and ease, breath, attention, focus. Beautiful. Touch down, everybody. Lay the tops of your feet on the mat. Sit back on your heels if you're able to. Your hands are by the sides of your feet, and your hairline touches the ground. It's child's pose. It's a release of all the pressure you've been holding in your neck and in your jaw. It's a release of all the pressure that's accumulated in your low back, in your hips. It's also bringing circulation to your brain, and to your eyes, and to your gums, and to your pituitary and pineal glands, and thyroid and thymus glands. Here's a vinyasa, everybody. On the in-breath, drag your knuckles forward and up so that we rise up to kneeling, and we finally reach up again to the sun. And as you're breathing out, float down to child's pose, using the out-breath to navigate. On the in-breath, rounding up, your knuckles drag forward and up. And as you're breathing out, folding down. 2 rounds. Wait for my call if you can. In. Out. In. Out. Come onto hands and knees. Majorayasana, I call it up cat. Now as you're breathing out, take downward dog. It's our first down dog, everyone. Be easy on your hamstrings. See how your toes can separate. There's space between them. The metatarsus are supple, responsive. Make sure that your thumbs and index fingers reach deep into the mat to support you. You can draw your ribs away from your shoulders and hands. We'll hold here another 3 breaths. It's down dog. It's a stretch of the spine. It's a gentle stretch into the hamstrings, strengthening the heart, lungs, and upper body. Nice. Walk your feet forward so that your feet are open from each other about as far apart as your sitting bones are wide. Bend your knees a lot and let your belly come to rest against your thigh bones. Hang onto your elbows with your hands and just let your head dangle down. Ragdoll. The navel relaxes towards your spine to support the spine's release. You can feel the first joint of your big toes, the first joint of the little toes, inner heels and outer heels against the ground securely. Change so that the other arm is in front. Relax your jaw. Drop your hands to the ground. Let a sigh out of your mouth. To come up, just drag your hands up the front of your legs as your chin tucks toward your collarbone. Just drag your hands up. As you get to the top, squeeze your shoulders to your ears. Just draw them up there. And then on the out breath, release them back and down. Breathe in, your hands flow out and up. Palms may touch. Breathe out, float forward and down over your legs. It's Uttanasana. On the in-breath, torso forward into the space ahead. Breathe out, float down over your legs. Navel to spine, release your neck. On the in-breath, drag your hands up the front of your legs, chin to chest or chin to collarbones. As you get to the top, squeeze your shoulders to your ears. Roll them back and down as you're breathing out. Breathe in, hands flow out and up. Breathe out, float down over your legs. Breathe in, torso forward. Breathe out, float over your legs. Drag up to stand on the in-breath. Shoulders to ears. Roll them back and down. Hello, world. Samastiti. Turn your palms to face forward. Unlock your knees. Imagine that you can take in information from the center of your palms, and that moves into your heart. And you're just deciphering the world from those entry points. Or we've included those places. Totally aware, available, just sensing, fully occupying the moment. Breathe in, your hands flow out and up. Breathe out, float down over your legs. Torso forward as you're breathing in. As you're breathing out, step your feet to touch each other and fold over your legs. Round up partially to standing. Your arms may flee to the side now, east-west, as your palms touch above. Cross your wrists. Unlock your knees. Send both feet deep into the ground and reach over to your east. Huh. No one knew where that was. I did. I think it's right. I think that's east. We're all going the same way. I get some affirmation out there. Yeah, that's east. Unlock your knees. Unlock your knees. Now, send your attention into the intercostal muscles on the right side. On your left side. Just breathing into those intercostals. Thank you. Come upright, everybody. Let your feet take root, your legs take root. Stretch up and over to the other side. That's west. Are you breathing? Feel yourself rooted and inspired. Beautiful. Come upright, everybody. Your next out breath, bring your hands to your heart. Bend your knees and bring your fingers down into the line of your feet. Right touching the ground if you're able to. Legs are held to each other. Legs are held to each other if you can. Try not to let them escape each other. Sit deeper if you're able to. Your thigh bones may arrive more parallel to the ground. Send your hands forward. Now, establish a relationship between your sitting bones and your fingers. Now, let your sitting bones fall towards the ground, but your fingers reach diagonally away from them. Utkatasana. Breath. The ribs draw away from your fingers. Nice. Lengthen your legs and float forward and down. It's Uttanasana. We'll hold here 3 breaths. On the in-breath, Ardha Hastasana, torso forward. On the out-breath, fold over your legs. Round up partially through your spine, and then your arms will separate from one another. Palms will touch above. And as you're breathing out, bring your hands to your heart. Bending your knees, everybody, bring your fingers down into the line of your feet. You take your right hand and place it onto your right thigh bone, and your left hand reaches forward ahead of your left shoulder. Nice establishment through the ground, through your pelvis, legs, and feet. Lengthen through that support as you rotate to your right. Your left elbow may touch your left knee, or it may come between your knees, or that left elbow may come to the outside of your right knee with your palms in prayer. Pavrita Utkatasana. Now it's dependent on the support you're receiving from your legs and feet and your connection to the ground. Lengthen through your spine as you rotate. Gorgeous. Unwind, forward folding. 3 breaths. Torso forward as you're breathing in. Fold over your legs as you're breathing out. Round up partially to stand. Your hands will flee to the side, palms will touch. And bring your hands to your heart, the out breath. The out breath, your knees bend and your fingers come down into the line of your feet. Hug your legs to each other. Your left hand comes onto the left thigh bone. Your right hand reaches forward. And then as you secure the ground, you can rotate to your left. Your right elbow touches the right knee or the space between, or to the outside of the left knee, your palms may come to prayer. Steadiness and ease. Steadiness and ease. There's no panic here. Unwind, everybody, floating down. Walk to plank pose. Your hands walk to the front edge of your mat. You're stepping your feet back to the back edge of your mat. The sides of the body hug in for support. The ribs can draw towards the hip bones. That releases your head forward. Unlock your knees. We'll hold for 3 more breaths. Beautiful. Look forward, everybody. There you go. That's that's nice. Knees touch down. Lower to your belly. Open your arms out to the side, onto the ground, and turn your face to one side. I know. So you're in crocodile or makrasana. So check me out here, everybody. Your hands and arms are actually touching the mat. Do you dare? Do you dare? And you're looking to one side. So rather than letting your arms float, if you're uncomfortable with that, then bring your hands to the outside of your legs. That's fine too. I know, nobody wants to touch the ground here. Why did I have that in my program? If you want, you can make a pillow with your hands and turn your face to one side. That's fine too. Turn your face to the other side. I know there's pigeons and all the stuff they make on the ground. Bring your hands now to the outside of your ribs. Let your feet finally relax against the ground, the tops of them. Your fingers are facing forward. Your elbows point into the space behind you. As you're breathing in, it's baby cobra, but it's led by your elbows. Your elbows draw down towards the ground, and just your ribs clear. And as you're breathing out, lower down. Forehead touches the ground. On the in-breath, your elbows draw down, and just the ribs clear, just your ribs. You feel the back muscles finally coming into engagement, and as you're breathing out, you'll round down. On the in-breath, the elbows draw down. That lifts your ribs away from the ground a little bit. And as you're breathing out, you roll down your torso, press onto hands and knees, and let's take downward dog again. And you feel, and you sense, you navigate. Come onto hands and knees. Step your left foot forward and stretch your right leg back into the space behind. It's low lunge. Stand into the space behind you with your right foot. Really engage that right leg. Stretch the spine more forward. Make sure your right hand is right underneath your right shoulder. Send your left hand to the left, and then as the core rotates to the left, your left arm may travel upward towards the sky. Those of you that are needing to modify this pose, you can bring your right knee down on the mat for support. We'll hold for 3 breaths here. Touch down, everybody. Everybody, bring that right knee onto the mat far behind your hip. Back toes are curled under. Perch onto your fingertips if you're able to, drawing the back body to the front body. The sternum lifts up slightly, just a little higher than the buildings. Stay here if you'd like, or you might come a little higher with your hands on the front thigh bone or knee as the pubis draws upward toward your navel, as the navel zippers towards your sternum and the chin plays a little higher than the buildings. Stay here if you'd like, or come fully into equestrian pose by bringing the back body to the front body and your sternum or your heart opens to the sky for 2 breaths. Nice. Touch down, everybody. Hands touching the ground. Step your right foot onto the mat, just slightly turned out. Draw the outer left hip back slightly and fold over the left thigh bone. Your forehead may meet your knee or shin bone. We'll hold for 4 breaths here. Step your back foot forward to meet your front foot. On the in-breath, draw your torso forward into the space ahead. On the out-breath, fold over your legs. If you want, you can hinge up to standing now, your hands flowing in line with your eyes, your periphery, palms touching above. And as you're breathing out, bring your hands to your heart. Breathe in, your hands flow down and out and up. Breathe out, float down over your legs. Torso forward as you're breathing in. Now as you're breathing out, send your left leg back into the space behind. It's low lunge. Left leg is back now. The sole of that left foot merges into the space behind. Your head releases forward. Make sure your left hand is right underneath your left shoulder. Send your right hand to the right, and as the core of your body makes a rotation, that right arm just floats right up towards the sky, maybe. If you need to modify, let that left knee touch down on the ground. If you're unstable, if you're struggling and strained, then help yourself. Touch down, everybody. The left knee touches down on the mat far behind the hip. Perch onto your fingertips. This might be it for you. It's okay. The back body flows to the front body. Or bring your hands onto your thigh bone, where the sternum and pubis draw upward, zippered upward. Or wedge your hands forward and then up. And remember, the stretch is up and back rather than down and back. And you're monitoring your breath, and you're seeing and feeling, and you're right here. Gorgeous. Touch down, everybody. Step that left foot onto the mat, just slightly turned out. Make sure that left heel touches the ground. Fold over the right leg as you're drawing that outer right hip back. Your forehead comes toward your knee or shin bone. Beautiful. Step your back foot forward, folding over your legs. Hinge up or round up to standing, palms touching above. And as you're breathing out, bring your hands to your heart. Hold here. Imagine, everybody, while we have this energy now flowing through us, flowing more proficiently through the mind or through the body, just direct your attention now to your heart center and just focus or channel all that energy now, prana, life force, vitality, right towards the heart, and just sense it moving away. Any knots, any tangles, any congestion, physical or energetic. On the next in-breath, point your fingers down towards the ground. Move them forward and up and back. Now the back body flows to the front body. Uh-oh. And as you're breathing out, come upright and float down over your legs. On the in-breath, torso forward. And as you're breathing out, step into plank pose. Hold plank pose, 3 breaths. Knees touch down, lower to your belly. Slip your hands just to the outside of your legs. On the in-breath, draw your ribs up away from the ground. On the out-breath, stretch your legs back and up away from the mat at Shavasana. Your hands can float if you'd like. Now your toes and your sternum are reaching in opposite directions of each other energetically. You're balancing on your ribs and on your hip bones. Careful about outward rotation of your legs. Just neutralize your legs if you can. Fabulous. Beautiful. Lower down, everybody. Press the hands and knees. Step your left foot forward. Actually, you know what? I'm changing my plan here. Will you step both feet forward but a little bit wider? Just slightly wider than your hips. Maybe your feet are towards the edges of your mat. And as you bend your knees, just bring your forearms and elbows onto your thigh bones. We're in wrestler squat. That's it. There you go. It's a prep. Stay here if you'd like to, or if you need to. Those of you that are able to play deeper may bring your pelvis into the line of your calves, with your elbows just to the inside of your knees, and your palms in prayer. Yay! Can you make more space between your shoulders and your jaw? Wow. 2 breaths. Malasana. Okay, 2 more breaths. I got a request from the front row. Just kidding. Hands touch down on the ground, everybody, so that you can lengthen your legs, turn your feet parallel to one another, and fold into the space between your thigh bones. Bend your knees just slightly, interlace your fingers, and point your fingers into the back space, your index fingers. And on the in-breath, drag your knuckles forward and up, and into the back space behind. Uh-oh. And as you're breathing out, bend your knees, and let your index fingers point into the space behind. On the in-breath, drag your knuckles forward and up. Little back bend here as the sternum opens to the sky, shoulder blades against your back, and as you're breathing out, bend your knees. It's like a wood chopper. 2 rounds. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. Walk to plank pose. Bring your left knee down onto the mat. Shift your weight so that it is right on the left hand. Make sure your left shoulder is right over the left hand. Open your torso to the right. Bring your right hand and arm onto the right edge of your body. Stay here if you need. Side plank pose, modified. Or lift that right leg parallel to the ground. And or take your right hand to the sky and up overhead away from your right foot. Yay! Touch down, everybody. Plank pose. Bring your right knee down onto the ground. Make sure your right hand is right onto the right shoulder. Open your torso to the left. That left foot flips onto the mat. Your left hand and arm can come onto the left edge of your body. Stay here if you need. or lift that left leg parallel to the ground, and or take your left arm up and over so that you're reaching into the space ahead of you. Did someone say lunch? I thought I heard lunch. Touch down, everybody. Lower all the way to your belly. Shavasana as you're breathing in. That's where the legs lift and the ribs clear. And as you're breathing out, lower all the way to the ground. Press onto hands and knees to downward dog. We'll hold for 2 breaths. Come to hands and knees. Step your left foot forward now and stretch the right leg back into the space behind. Flip that right foot onto the mat. We're in preparation for Warrior 2, but let's build. Make sure that your feet are firmly connected to the ground and let your legs act as roots to the ground. Get a nice connection, steadiness, ease. Your left hand comes onto the left thigh bone when you're ready. Send your right hand forward and now up and now back into the space behind. Will you bring your arms into cactus arms? Relax through the hips. You know that in wrestler squat and malasana helped us into this posture. Make space between your shoulder blades. Now that we're steady, stretch your arms away from one another and look over your left hand. Steadiness, ease. Sthira Sukham Asanam. Reverse warrior, where your right hand comes onto the right shin bone or thigh bone. The left hand floats up to the sun, where you can just massage the intercostal muscles with your breathing. 2 breaths. Touch down. Step to plank. Bring your knees down onto the mat, far behind your hips. Lift your toes away from the ground. Organize yourself so that your body, so that your ears and your shoulders and your hips and your knees are on a diagonal. And as your elbows reach into the space behind, hug your upper body with your upper arms and lower your shoulders parallel to the mat. Stay here for 2 days. Lower down to your belly, low cobra if you need, or high cobra, or up dog, feet and hands. Take downward dog as you're breathing out. 2 breaths. Come to hands and knees. Step your right foot onto the mat and stretch your left leg back into the space behind. Flip that left foot onto the mat firmly. Establish yourself. Establish yourself. Legs are roots. Right hand on the right knee, left hand forward, and now we can flower and bloom. We've got roots. The left hand reaches into the space behind. Cactus arms. Stretching your arms, looking over the right. Reverse warrior. Opening. Cartwheel down, right hand, left hand, step to plank. Bring your knees down onto the mat. sit back onto you. Actually, everyone, will you flip onto your back? Come right onto your back. Facing me, actually, yeah. Lift your shin bones so that they're parallel to the ground. Cross your shin bones one over the other, like an X. Keep your legs like that, but let your knees and your legs come down onto the ground now so that your knees are just resting on your heels. Gather your legs. Change now so that the other shin bone is on top. Keep your legs like that if you can. Bring them down onto the ground and let your knees float down onto your heels. Hip opening. Gather your legs to your torso. Rock up to sitting. Swing your legs around, little do-si-do. Up cat. Downward dog. Walk your feet to your hands. Forward folding, out breath. Round up or hinge up to standing, palms touching. And as you're breathing out, bring your hands to your heart. Did you think we were going to be down there for a long time? Were you getting comfortable there? Bring your hands onto your hips. Shift your weight to your right foot and bring your left leg up to your left hand. Pressure into that left hand with your thigh bone and the thigh bone to the hand. The ribs knit towards the hip bones. Open your left knee out a little bit or a lot. Here's our hip opener from the previous posture. Fit that foot, the left foot, high up into the right thigh bone or below the right knee. Here's your plank pose. The ribs draw towards one another and reach towards the hips. Your hands can come to prayer. You know, Tim Tompkins and I, there's a picture from 2003 when I shouldn't be talking about, he's balancing in tree pose right now. And here I am shining the light on Tim. But there's a picture of us in the New York Times when we started this event 20 years ago. The three of us, me, Tim, and Chesrina. You want to do something fun? Breathe in, send your hands up. I know, we're on one leg. Breathe out, bring your hands to your heart. Step down, everybody. Bring your hands on your hips. Shift your weight to your left foot. Bring your right leg to your right hand. Open that right knee to the right a little bit. You remember that hip opener we just left reclining? Or all the way. Fit that right foot high up onto the left thigh bone or below the left knee, not on that knee joint. Ribs can knit towards the hips. Sides of the body can come in, hands in prayer. Everybody gets treated to lunch. No, I'm just kidding. as we do this vinyasa. You have to be careful what you say these days. This is the in-breath. As you're breathing out, hands to heart. One more. In. And out. Touchdown, everybody. Release your hands. Drop your chin to your chest. Curl your shoulders in. Feel the weight of your head, the weight of your arms, rounding the spine down. Unlock your knees. Unlock your knees. Rounding down, bone by bone. When you get to the bottom, let a sigh out of your mouth. Come down onto hands and knees, and then come onto your back. And we'll take Shavasana, corpse pose. In Shavasana, your legs are extended fully down if you're able to. You'll make sure that your shoulder blades are just laying flush against your back. Which means that you can lift your shoulders a little bit and resettle the shoulder blades so that they lay flush against your back. Lift your head, and then resettle your head and neck so that they're comfortable. Your palms can face up towards the sky. The backs of your hands resting on the ground if you prefer. Or maybe one hand on your heart, the other hand on your navel. These ancient tools that we've been practicing, this ancient discipline and science, over 3,000 years old. It's the perfect, I think anyway, the perfect partner for our journey through these times. Establishing a sense of unity within ourselves, a sense of harmony. You can feel how the mind and the body are no longer disjointed, seemingly. It's hard to distinguish one from the other. They're perfect symbiosis. But here's the wonderful part. The part that we often leave out. The part of us that is more refined than body, more refined than mind. Spirit. And by practicing steadiness and ease, all the seemingly separate parts of ourselves are unified in a harmonious relationship through spirit. Just let yourself be here. Just let yourself be here. Rub your thumbs over your fingertips and wiggle your toes a little bit. And draw in a full breath that brings your hands up over your head. Stretch your left side long and your right side long. And roll over onto the right side of your body. Just hug in tight, like a little ball, and hold here. Just curl in a nice little fetal position. That's it. We're inviting the breath to flow in through the top nostril, the left nostril, lunar, calming, soothing, relaxing to the nervous system. Use your left hand now to press into the ground, come up to sitting, return to your most comfortable seated pose. Place your left hand, it's my real left hand, so that your palm is facing forward, just in front of your left knee or on it. The left palm faces forward, an open position this way. And your right hand, palm is soft and it faces forward as well. And close your eyes. It's a nice blessing for the world. Releasing the world from fear. Releasing ourselves from fear. Offering a blessing through the clarity of our practice and through the energy that we generated. Bring your palms to prayer. Tilt your head toward your heart. You can offer a blessing or a prayer to someone that you think might benefit from the clarity of your practice, or some situation, circumstance that might benefit. Chant with me if you'd like 3 rounds the mantra Om, as we use the mantra now to enhance, to support, to amplify the benefits of the practice. 3 rounds Om if you'd like to join. Namaste. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming to practice. You are light. Just continue to shine your light, soak in the sun, and let it shine out, too. Thank you. I'll see you next year, hopefully. Be well, be safe. Thank you. Thank you, Times Square Alliance, everyone on the team. Thank you, thank you. Be well. Thank you, front row. You are so inspirational.
Give it up one more time for Douglass Stewart. Today's event was presented by Alpha Girl Club, a Web3 brand focused on all aspects of wellness, mental, physical, and social. Their mission is to not only help people create and fulfill their wellness goals, but to experience our journeys and do life together. Be sure to stop by their booth for a photo wall, make a gratitude bracelet, and a free Alpha Girl Club NFT. From workout to workday, refresh with Smart Water Alkaline. With a higher pH balance, Smart Water Alkaline, they've added a little more so you can go a little further. Stop by the Smart Water tent in Yoga Village to receive a complimentary bottle. Please stop by the Yoga Village on Broadway between 44th and 45th Streets and support all of our event sponsors before you leave today. And spread the good karma by making a donation to Community First, a new initiative where navigators on the street build relationships and trust with vulnerable people in Times Square with the goal of getting them help. You can donate right now by going to tsq.org and make a difference in the world today through yoga. Join the conversation using hashtag SolsticeTSQ and tag @TimesSquareNYC. The Times Square Alliance hopes to see everyone next year for the 21st annual Solstice in Times Square Mind Over Madness Yoga.
Hi, who's interviewing who?
I don't know. I think you're interviewing
Are
me
you
or
inter-
I'm interviewing
Are
you.
you interviewing me or am I interviewing
Well, you know, yoga is all about questions and unanswered questions.
Unanswered questions.
Right. Well, first of all, I just want to thank you because you just led us through a wonderful class. It was exactly what I needed. And you know, you did all this metaphorical stuff because at the beginning there was a little bit of rain and there was some clouds. And then by the end, the sun was just peeking through. And as always, you drew attention to the noises. You're like, the noise at the sides. You did a great job of just like reminding us that even amidst all this noise, we can have some peace of mind.
Well, don't you feel like that's what it's about, Tim? I mean, my mind is noisy, and thank you, and my apartment is kind of untidy, and it's just not like, you know, pristine all the time, and especially coming out of the pandemic, especially. You know, all the stuff that's going on in the world and all, I think it's just kind of nice to see that we can not push against those things, but recognize that they're here, and through that recognition, perhaps we can find a clear path through the solutions of those things, through our own clarity that's developed through the practice of yoga, through our own sincerity and honesty. We're able to just sort of move with those things rather than pushing back so hard. I think that sometimes if I push back against my own frustrations, then they just get stronger, so.
That really resonates, because we look at what's happening in the world, and there's war, there's this economic disruption, and there's crime and disorder, and those are things that we cannot individually control. And of course we can work in the longer term for justice and peace, but in the short term, day to day, we need something that helps us know how we hold on to ourselves, but also how we let go of the things that we cannot control.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the practice of yoga, it doesn't invite criticism, of those things that we observe. It just says look. It just says see, feel, experience, svadhyaya, self-study, understand, read, but let go of the critical mind so much, which can sometimes pull us down into this sort of malaise or not finding any solution to anything.
There were two words that you repeated multiple times throughout the session that you just led. What was it? It was steadiness.
Steadiness and ease.
Yeah. So can you go a little deeper into those?
My father just recently had a surgery. Hello, family. Dad, Ross, Paula, and Trinity, Mom. So I was at home helping my dad for 2 months, and he got out of the surgery. He was unable to walk even, and I watched my father just steadily and easily progress from not being able to walk to the walker, and now roaming around Walmart, without all that stuff. And so it brought home to me, as I've been practicing here in Times Square with you for 20 years and on my own for longer, that the thread of the practice is, with all the asana, with all the pranayama, the meditation, eventually what comes through, that's the through line for me, the intention is steadiness and ease. And the pandemic helped for me to realize that. And whatever's on the way towards us now, if we can practice steadily and easefully, I think we'll be able to navigate with clarity as well, and with heartfulness and mindfulness.
And that's such a powerful message. Someone in my family was recently diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and there are so many things about that are so overwhelming, and that I can't even begin to comprehend. But I think those words, steadiness and ease, in terms of just how we try and navigate when we're in the storm, it may not be easy, but to have an intention
it may not even
of
be steady.
Yeah, no, exactly. And so steadiness and ease may be exactly the opposite of what's going on when you're in the midst of a severe storm at sea, but to set that intention for oneself, at least mentally and spiritually, hopefully can be some source of strength.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always good to see you.
It's always good to see you.
I think our time is up.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.